So, talking about Donald Trump's tweets telling people to go back where they came from. You just hear the headline and it instantly brings up bad memories. Fortunately for myself, I have a lot of people who've cared about me, who stood in my corner. Mainly my parents. I've had issues with my parents. But when it's come down to things like that, because Castillo's last name, I have white features because of my mom, and I've had people give me problems, and my parents have never taken any crap from anybody for it. To the point that someone who told me that once before, well, you should go back to Mexico, was expelled from school. I do think my principal from then, I thank him for taking, making me feel that I was valued there. And he told, because I had that happen to me, and my kindergarten teacher immediately sent him to the principal's office. And apparently an argument ensued with the parent. And this had already been an issue that week at school. Again, I was in kindergarten. Another student, and everyone had heard about it, had called a black student the N-word, and he was expelled from the school. Don't know what happened to him. Honestly, don't really care. And he took the same attitude with this parent. He said, if that's how you raise your child, because they haven't heard that elsewhere. They would not come up with that by themselves. They heard it from you. He asked him, where did you hear that from? Well, I heard it from my mom and my dad. And he said, well, then I'm not going to tolerate it. You obviously are arguing with me, saying that it's a point of view. It's not a point of view. There are other kids here. And, he went into, America was built on migrants, taken from... that's a completely different conversation. Even he said that. But I've been fortunate to have people and to have a strong backbone to not put up with it. And when I hear people who say that, all I hear is ignorance. All I hear is fear. All I see is someone who can't see beyond the brim of their nose. To say, go back to your country. Well, technically, white people, you weren't here before either, so technically it belongs to the Indians, and technically Arizona and New Mexico were a part of Mexico. So y'all can leave, and we can stay here, keep our green chili, and carry on. But it does bring up very bad feel. It just brings up that again, and it just reminds you, because I remember he excused them out of the office. He said, we're done here. Your son is not welcome to come back to school tomorrow, and I don't ever want to see you back on premises here again. And and he, they apparently, when we were out at recess, or can't remember, there was something after class, and apparently in that time he was given it was kind of like, the little trays that juices come in, the little cardboard kind of rectangular whatever. Well, sometimes we would keep, instead of a desk drawer, we would have one of those, and we put our pencils, pencil sharpeners, our markers, whatever in that, and he already had his. So apparently, at some point, he had already been taken back to the classroom. He was handed what was in his desk, which again is really sad. But again, I appreciate the people who stood up for me, because when I was little, if I didn't have someone who was there to say, that's wrong, I'm not really sure how I would have turned out. And that is something that I definitely don't put up with people. The second I hear somebody say that, I don't feel shame. I look at that person and I go, you're an idiot. It just instantly puts you in a category for a lot of people. And this is something like with Donald Trump. He does not, and I'm not, notice I did not say president. I said Donald Trump. He didn't win. That goes into a bigger issue with the Electoral College, and I hope it's something we don't have to deal with again. Now, honestly, I don't know why the Electoral College has that much control. We as the people said, even though I honestly didn't care about her, but she would have been a far cry better than him. Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton actually won. He did not win. He did not win the popular vote. And I don't understand how that was manipulated so that he could be sworn in, as far as I'm concerned. Now, going forward from this, Donald Trump doesn't want to be painted in the light of being a racist. Well, after this, there is no question. Also, what bothers me is when you see like the New York Times doing a polling of leading Democrats, and 87% disagree with that comment. Okay, who are the other 13%? I really am curious. I would love to know who they are. And they said this is of cabinet Democrats. Okay, again, who are they? They're making decisions that affect the rest of us. They call themselves Democrat. I mean, you want to separate yourself from that, but you also want to remain a Democrat, a racist Democrat. It's just a very interesting conundrum, in my opinion. You want to call yourself Democrat, you want to call yourself left-leaning, but you're racist. I'm left-leaning, I am not racist. I don't really honestly care about people. I don't care about your skin color. I don't care about your gender. I care about whether you're going to treat me with respect. I'm going to treat you with respect. I'm going to open a door for you. I'm going to greet you in a respectful manner. I'm going to be polite. Are you going to be the same back to me? And as far as it goes in like a work setting, I honestly don't care. I've worked with all kinds of people. I've even worked with disabled people, blind people. What it comes down to, can you do the job? If you can do the job, I'm not going to have a problem. And if your disability prevents you from doing that, I'm not going to hold that against you. I never have. You know, there's some people, like I worked with one woman, she had a hearing, She had a hearing issue on one side. I actually believe she didn't have hearing. And it was just, we worked around it. You know, and I've worked with people who've been in wheelchairs to where, you know, they actually were using the voice typing to get a project done. I think it's important to have people disabled who are working. But unfortunately, we have an administration that has found ways to make it harder for everyone to be able to be a part of the party. They have done things against the Disability Act for people to work. They have done things against women being able to work, LGBT rights being able to work. Who gives a shit? And I say this because I am gay. And that has never impacted my ability to work. And it never will. So, and I want this to be a short video, now we're at 8 minutes. It brings up bad feelings, and all it reminds me is that the people who say this and who take that attitude are idiots. And I love to distance myself from people like that as quickly as possible.